So Israel knows if they do a ceasefire, it only gives Hamas a chance to regroup, and then 10 years from now, they're going to do the same thing again. You have to get rid of them.
Oh, here we go.
Any quick recommendations that you would make to somebody? I know going on pilgrimage, you've got it all squared away, so that's nice and packaged. But anything that, I mean, you made some comments last night. People are worried about what's going on in the news, and
you should be worried about being in the United States. I mean, it's not safe anywhere here now. A priest was stabbed and killed in Nebraska just this last weekend. He just went into a sacristy and then got stabbed there. You got problems going all on in the country. For example, I don't know the exact numbers, but over 600 or 1,000 people get murdered in Chicago in a year. Yeah. And yet, if your business, say your cotton business, said, we've got a big customer up there that'd like to buy your cotton and we're going to fly into Chicago, you wouldn't think twice about flying into Chicago, getting off at O'Hare, getting a car and going to, and yet 600 people, 10, 15, 20 a weekend get shot. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you wouldn't think twice of going to Chicago because everywhere you go, there are areas you don't go to. Yeah. Sure. And there's areas where things flare up and there's problems.
It's the border here.
Yeah, your border. You wouldn't. Yeah, in Texas, you don't go near the border. No. So in Israel, there's places you don't go. You don't go down by Gaza. And what people don't realize is that all of the news that's happening right now is down in Gaza area, down in the south near the Egyptian border. Gaza used to be a part of Egypt until the 6-day war.
How far is that from any of the holy sites that you go to?
45 miles from Jerusalem, but that's a long way in that country.
It's winding roads.
And they're shooting missiles out of Gaza, and you hear, they're shooting all these 100 missiles a day or whatever, but they land in the desert, most of them. Mm-hmm. You don't hear about towns getting blown up with these missiles. They shoot them into the desert. They're this time going a little farther into Ashkelon and Akron and Ashkelon and other places along the coastline. But I could be in Jerusalem or Tiberias right now, and you wouldn't know anything is going on because it's not in that area. Mm-hmm. What is happening is the airlines stopped flying in because Tel Aviv is kind of at the far end of where the missiles are going. So they're closed. I think El Al, the Israeli airlines, the only one flying in and out of there right now. Delta, which is they've discontinued all flights till February 4th.
And they're real big in Michigan, right?
They're
coming
huge
out of
in
Detroit.
That's their big hub, one of the hubs, in Minneapolis and Atlanta. So I'm just this close to being 3 million milers with Delta.
Really? Goodness gracious.
Can't imagine the miles you've got right
now.
Gosh, 3 million.
No wonder your hair.
Yeah, my wife too, because she goes everywhere with me. So she's also a diamond 2 million miler.
Oh, that's fun.
It's funny because normally the husband is and the wife. So we go into the lounge at the airport, and I have this, and they said, "Is this your guest?" I said, "No, she's a 2 million miler too. Treat her with respect."
That's great.
But if I took you right now to Israel and we were in Jerusalem, it would be pretty much the same, except security is much higher. Mm-hmm. And they called up all of the reservists, 300,000 of them. So right now, all of the crops, and all the foreign workers went home too. The Filipinos and the Indians, that's mainly who they are. Yeah. They all were sent home because they didn't know how much the war was going to escalate. Mm-hmm. So all the fruit and vegetables are rotting on the trees and on the vines. So there's nobody there to pick it. And so the cities are quieter because they're all in the military right now until this is won. But they're going to have it done. Israel can't allow it to go on much longer. I just heard they're pumping seawater into the tunnels, which is great. They flush them out. That's how you get rats out of a sewer system. Uh-huh. And the Hamas is really evil. They need to be totally obliterated.
Yeah,
and because their only goal.
Because that's the only defense you have, basically, right?
Is to get rid of them because they hate Israel.
They won't stop.
Mm-hmm. They hate Israel more than they love their own kids. Yeah. In other words, put it this way: Israel is always going to be there. Israel's a powerful country. They're not going anywhere. Yeah. You would be much smarter to learn to live with Israel than to fight against them, because fighting against them is only going to destroy your kids' opportunities.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You learn to live with them. Jews have money and brains. The Palestinians have labor and resources. Do you realize what happened if you put those two together?
Oh, wow.
They'd be an unstoppable
It'd
force.
be an unstoppable force.
Their,
It'd be the most wealthy portion of the whole world.
their economy
Yeah.
would just explode.
And all of their
Well,
kids, the
right now, it
Palestinian
literally
kids.
is exploding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Palestinian kids would have these great opportunities.
Yes, they
Yeah.
would.
But these people hate Israel more than they love their own kids. And they are always saying that it's going to happen again. So Israel knows if they do a ceasefire, it only gives Hamas a chance to regroup, and then 10 years from now they're going to do the same thing again. You have to get rid of them. And they're getting close to that. And now they've got all the UN and the United States opposing them, but Israel's smart enough; they're not going to listen. They're just going to do what they got to do.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so it's just like Texas ought to close the border on its own. You guys know what you got to do, even if Washington doesn't. So anyway, it'll be over soon. I have a trip going in in February. We're going to do 5 days through Jordan and then 8 days through Israel.
Wow.
And I'm very much hoping and expecting that one will fly.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
not, I have 4
Feb-
buses going in May.
Oh, wow. Gosh. Yeah.
Wow.